Welcome to 5 Star Weekly, a roller coaster of a week and season ticket holder discourse galore. We get into all that and more coming up. Before we get into it, become part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button on YouTube. Welcome to the show, 5 Star fam. I'm AJ and this is Michael. And LA United had a pair of games this past week that we will cover. The CF Montreal match and, of course, the NYCFC game at the Benz. We will cover the CF Montreal one very briefly. But yeah, before we get into all of the rest of the show as well, much love and shouts out to our Patreon fam. You guys are loyal. We love you so much. And as very much special highlight to Gavin, Jordan, Niall, Andrew, and Chris. But yeah, let's get into it then. Stade Saputo, that 1-0 loss facing Joseph Martinez and George Campbell. Yeah, it was not a lot to write home about. This is how quickly we will cover this. 0 shots on target. Yeah, possession of 34%. And yeah, it was a total of 3 shots taken. We were thoroughly owned in what was a very poor showing from the Five Stripes. Yeah, we pontificated, just how little entertainment there was for fans, and it's gotten a lot of people, very, I think, not only up in arms, but just not really feeling the season tickets, pretty much increasing, when showings like this on the road are pretty much commonplace. But Stian Gregerson, he got shown 2 yellows here, 2 pretty silly fouls. The second one pretty clumsy. Whether it was actually and should have been a second yellow card is debatable. But yeah, Michael, what did you think about the yellow card at least?
I don't honestly remember what it was, if it was soft or hard, so yeah. I don't remember that. There's a lot of that game I don't remember. It was one of our objectively worst games ever played, so just
for sure.
Oh man, it was bad.
And yeah, it's very much the fact that people are, spending their time on a Saturday night, and this is what we get in return is just. Yeah, it's just not good enough. Like, it is very much where I think people do have very real and warranted gripes for all this. But, Gregerson, I feel like that was a pretty soft foul, but it is, it is what it is. Like, when you're on a yellow, you can't invite that. But to me, it was a little bit more of a kind of shoulder-to-shoulder. But because he's 6'5" and the other dude is not, it's always going to look a lot worse than it is. But.
Yeah, now I remember it. I thought when I saw it, it was, like you said, shoulder-to-shoulder challenge for the ball, and I'm sorry that Gregerson's just bigger. Like, that shouldn't inherently be a foul, but, like you said, it's the way things appear. Kind of like how we'll get into a foul that happens in the next game.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, so as far as this one goes, it's just a stinker, just straight up through and through. One of the worst ones on the road so far. Even though, yeah, it's just like I think maybe the thing to talk about in this match is how Gregerson cannot stay on the pitch for Atlanta United. Whether it's injury, whether it's yellow card accumulation, can't get out of trouble. It's just, Gregerson, I have to ask you, like, is he worth the DP label so far?
No, not so far. Definitely, like, as a DP, you'd expect more, but, as a TAM player, I would say, yeah, I think so. He definitely is a very good defensive player for us when he's on the pitch and when he's not getting 2 yellows. I think it might be that, we've seen this with similar at similar, at different times in other players, that the players try and do too much. They try and, overextend themselves to help out in where they feel maybe perhaps the team is lacking in some way. So they feel like they need to push harder and they need to go up higher on the field or what have you, go a little bit beyond what they typically do. And a lot of times, if that is in a more physical sense, you push your body too hard, end up in injuries.
Yeah.
If you do too much defensively, desperately, perhaps that ends up in yellow cards. So maybe he's just doing a little too much. Maybe he sees there's too many holes to patch. He tries to patch too many at the same time, and he gets spread too thin. Maybe he needs to relax a little more. I mean, you don't really want that from your CB. You want them to be able to go, headstrong into anything. But at this point, like you said, you get more value with him being there than not. And I think he just needs to perhaps take his foot off the gas, not try and do everything, and then perhaps he'll be able to be more effective being on the field more often.
Yeah, because he did also go on a walkabout later on or earlier on in the match, trying to make things happen, and it didn't really quite work to that avail. But it ultimately is just frustrating from that end, where a player that obviously has a lot of talent and can do a lot of things for us, but he just cannot stay on that pitch, and hopefully he can. Hopefully, the ability for him to stay on the pitch, which is an ability in itself, he can improve on that. So, hopefully he can improve on that very, very soon. But anyway, let's move on from this match to the next match, where yes, it is a 2-2 draw against NYCFC at home, where we go up 2-0 at the half and we poop the bed. And it's something that, okay, we kind of have done this recently, most notably against Philadelphia Union, where it kind of sent us into this possible tailspin mentally, and that's why you see kind of the nature of what it has been. But yeah, it's just ultimately a game that we very much should have won. And with the way that it was going as well, where from the off, a very good kind of, I think, in my opinion, set play, to where from kickoff we kick it
historical over. Set play.
Historical, exactly, as well. The fastest goal in Atalanta United history. But it was kicked diagonal to Brooks Lennon on the right, and it kicked us off beautifully, where we were on the front foot. We were pretty much on the outside of their box immediately, and then he was able to find Muyamba, who was able to find Saba with a very, very beautiful flick. And then Saba, was able to square it beautifully for Rios to pretty much sweep it in. And, it's the fastest goal in history for Atalanta United, like I said, faster than the 47 seconds one with Jose Martinez. And it looks like we were off to the races. Looks like, happy days. This is, are we in dreamland? But, and then the second goal, where, quite well worked as well, I would say. Even though it's a little bit of a rebound, but still, Silva does a lot of good work when he's on that left side. He had a lot of shots in this match. Anytime, pretty much we cover this in the live reactions, but when he's in front of goal, near the penalty spot or on the right side, it's just the ball striking isn't as good for whatever reason. But when he's on the left side, well, yeah, he can make things happen a little bit more. And his shot was strong enough that it needed to be parried. And Saba, right there, Johnny on the spot, was able to get that rebound and pretty much, kind of chip it in. So it definitely was a good enough sequence that I feel like some of these are well worked enough that they're replicable. But I mean, Michael, you had some other opinions a little bit, yesterday on the reactions. But yeah, I mean, still, want to hear and kind of dig into those opinions.
Yeah, use the word repeatable, and like to a degree, you're right. You have a point in that when you called it a set play right off the jump, that they got that goal so quickly. That's something that's repeatable. You can say, let's just, when we have the opportunity, let's bum rush them right off the jump, and hopefully we catch them cold. They're not ready for the game to start, which is something that's happened to us, quite often. So it's good to see that they've kind of recognized, okay, that's an issue of ours, so perhaps we can turn that into a strength of ours. Let's use it against the other teams. So, that's a good thing, and that's repeatable. It won't work on everyone, like we talked about. Better teams, better defensively, teams that are awake at the start of the game and play a full 90. That's not really going to work on. But it at least can unsettle the other team, get them like kind of shocked, like, which I think New York City was for a little while. It seemed to shock them a bit. They eventually snapped out of it, but it took them like a half to do so. That's what I think about that. And also in terms of like whether or not the goals that we did were repeatable, outside of the first one, the bum rush is what it is. But the second one, I just think it was a shot, and I'm a little surprised the goalie didn't gobble it up. It seemed like it wasn't that super hard of a shot. Kind of being a telltale sign of a lot of Silva's shots are just kind of this flat tire shot that just bobbles forward. It's not very strong, not at pace, but he was able to cough up a rebound, which I was surprised about, and Saba luckily was right there. One of the few players who absolutely crashes the net, puts himself in positions in the attack that, I feel like other players need to do more of, or at least, continue to try to do it better than they have been. So I appreciate that on Saba, just having the game awareness to just put himself in the right place in case of a rebound. A lot of times I'm like, where's Rios, where he should have been there for a rebound or things like that. So in this case, it worked out really well. I don't know if this type of, a lot of these goals or these things are necessarily repeatable. Some of it just seemed like, when you're talking about like a back heel that broke a defense, or a creative play that, he dribbles past a guy and deflects off another one, and then it happens to land at the foot of one of our guys instead of the other team. And it kind of puts us on a break and puts us in a great position to take a shot, and then perhaps we score. I don't know if that's kind of the chaos that I would say is repeatable. And this is not just for last game, but in other times too this season, we've seen that where people have been like, wow, that's a great kind of creative little thing we put together. It doesn't seem often that we do it. It seems like it's rare, and when it does, it's great, and we applaud it, and it's love to see it, want to see more of it. But to say we're going to do it every game, I don't know if that's going to be the case. But I mean, we did say on the live stream, you can practice that sort of thing, in those chaotic moments where you're trying to beat a guy, and then you have another guy close by on your team that you can hopefully, maybe if there's a 50-50 ball, that ball falls to him if it comes out of your control instead of the other team. Put yourself in the position to get lucky, essentially. And you can practice that. So hopefully it's something that they work on, because, we talked about it too. I hate seeing Atlanta not be able to fight hard enough and to win second balls. It's like, yeah, their effort is there, their intensity is there, attempting to do it, but the result a lot of times is the 50-50s go the other way. And I just want to see that start to go the other way. Like they said, Atlanta just hasn't had the balls fall for them in their direction a lot this season, and it's bound to eventually equalize and start falling in our direction. And in some of the games under Rob, it has started, falling that way, but I just want to see it more. I don't think it's equal yet.
All All right, upon editing, unfortunately, it came to light that my audio was not working for the rest of the episode. So, unfortunately, Michael, his bit is not going to be continuing in the rest of the episode. So I'll pick it up from here. But, yeah, I mean, to speak on Michael's points, it essentially is, where I feel like there are some repeatable things that I do see that we did do very well here. The kickoff, where basically it is something that from the off, catching guys, catching the opposition off guard, and with positional play, with players essentially knowing where they need to be, almost like a second-hand nature, like it's telepathy. I think that's where this this first goal definitely is repeatable in my eyes, as Muyumba, Saba, they definitely were in some good spots to be able to pretty much make this a very, very good team goal. As well, the other aspect of Silva's, assists, essentially, in that sense, where Saba's goal, getting to the byline, I mean, that's always, I think, a very, very good thing to be able to do, because, yes, once you can get in behind, stretch the opposition, and, take a shot inside the six, essentially. Pretty much any time you can put something into the mixer, into the 6-yard box, it's usually a good thing. In this case, it was a parried ball that Saba was able to, get the rebound and chip it. But the other aspects are, you never know what will happen in the 6-yard box. It might be an own goal. It might be a bad rebound. It might be, any sort of number of scenarios for the defense that they can't handle what you're trying to do, and they're trying to deal with the danger. But sometimes a lucky bounce and things can good things can happen. So I think it's definitely these are repeatable things that we should really always try to do, is just pepper that 6-yard box, however which way you can. And yes, okay, you might have a goalkeeper in the area, but that rebound, that loose ball, you never know. If you crash that box, something can happen. So I think it's a good first half. The second half is a completely different story. It seems like there were some adjustments made by NYCFC that were not on our end, they started to press up higher against us, and with Bartosz Slisz, it was a hospital ball that just was a gimme to the attack for NYCFC, and that's what they wanted, I'm sure. But Guzan really couldn't really do anything about that one-on-one. People that I guess have gripes against Brad Guzan. Yes, he is on the wrong side of 30, but these goals, again, were not his fault. The second goal for NYCFC, where it's a penalty, and the penalty, it's just the two-handed nature of Brooks Lennon inside the box is foolish. It's just you just really do not put two hands on another player. You're just basically asking for it. And with how Brad Guzan is against penalties, Michael did point out, it's almost one of those things where you at least, if you allow him to get past you, which you generally don't want to anyway, well, it was still covered. There was another defender in the area. We had other defenders in the box, and we had Brad Guzan. I think the danger was not present. I think him getting to the byline a cross would have possibly been dealt with. It's a lower percentage, as Michael pointed out in this episode, than a penalty that Braguzan, he essentially has not really saved but one penalty in his Atlanta United career in essentially 8 years. So it's one of those, you take the lower percentage thing, the lower percentage event. But, of course, we also had a penalty shot of our own that went to VAR with Derek Williams going down in the box. And, it almost was another however moment, except it was going against us. Thankfully, the ref didn't, meme himself here. But, it was an offside call in the build-up on Silva. And, on his shots, I mentioned it in the live reactions as well. It seems like on the left side, his shots are fine. It's his ball striking seems to be pretty good from the left wing, but from the penalty spot to the right wing, it just seems like there's just something missing from his ability to shoot, and it's some of the tamest shots usually, and I think people had some warranted gripes for the shots that he took, the quality of shots. From there out, it was not really something to write home about. But it very much is a game that we should have won for sure. And now we have to take on the Columbus Crew, who are on a very, very good streak of form. But that match will be on Saturday, and we'll have that preview later on for you in this episode. But let's get into the news. And Atlanta United, with this draw, we are in 12th in the Eastern Conference, below DC and Nashville in 11th and 10th respectively, and right above Chicago. So it is strange when our goal difference is only -2, but the teams ahead of us are all in the negative double digits. So it's a bit of unluckiness, kind of much like Philadelphia Union, but we just can't catch a break, it seems like, in some of these moments where Philly, it also seemed like it broke them when if we drew them 2-2. They still didn't really get in a streak of form after that earlier season game, that we pretty much started to hemorrhage points. But so next bit of news is that Saba, he was named to the MLS Team of the Matchday bench, and with that goal and assist, it is definitely deserved. But it probably could have been better. He maybe could have made the actual 11, but in a draw, it seems like it makes sense. But next bit of news as well, Garth Lagerwey said on 92.9, explicitly anyway, that there will be no new coach until 2025. Apparently, there were some quotes in the media kind of alluding to that, where he is saying that there won't be really a decision per se, and until 2025. But it also is where he has mentioned that a search firm hasn't even been hired yet. So the urgency on finding a new head coach, it seems like more that Rob Valentino will have the rest of 2025, and there might be some food for thought in that, where people might be aggrieved, especially season ticket holders, which we'll get to in a second. But the fact that there is no head coach isn't the best optic. At least a permanent head coach, but it is also bringing in a new head coach where, we're in this dire form. There's not many games left in the season, as there's essentially pretty much only 9 games left in the regular season. And then, yeah, essentially you don't have DPs. You don't have, too many kind of stalwarts in this that makes it where it might be easier for it to be a clean slate. And a head coach would probably appreciate, the being able to get results from the off where, he gets a preseason. Because it also is this. You have, where you have one maybe day of training that you can actually work on, before the next match. Because, man, games have been coming so thick and fast every 3 days. It's kind of been the symptom of this season where, yeah, if you're not in good form, you're pretty much just in a spiral, and it just becomes really difficult to get yourself out of it. You essentially have to be good from the off. Otherwise, it just looks very, very, in a schedule where there's just not any time to work on things. But, yeah. Next bit of news, LA United also announced the season ticket package and pricing for the 2025 season, where basically there is 6 to 10% increase. There are the free away match tickets, of course, the ticket exchange program, where essentially you can buy back or have the team buy back games that you are not able to make it to, but you have to decide in January for the matches from April to October, and you get the season pass on Apple TV, which is kind of, I have a season ticket, and yeah, I don't really see that MLS season pass really come to fruition like I think it should. It is, kind of a little bit remiss at times. But yeah, preseason or pre-sale access for additional MLS and international soccer matches, but it is not clear who actually has that kind of access. If it's the highest tier people who maybe have the club access seats and all that. But yeah, talking about that ticket sellback program where you basically have to make that decision in January. It's a bit ludicrous where they're basically expecting fans to know what their schedule's like for the entire year. So they're asking us to revolve our entire lives around Atlanta United at the beginning of January. I mean, it's a big ask for a lot of fans. I would say it's a little bit unrealistic. And frankly, I think it shows a little bit of the out-of-touch nature of pretty much what's going on here, because there is also a kind of chart going around, and if it's true, well, it's very damning, because it shows a lot of the MLS markets, including Atlanta, New York, Inter Miami, LA, Portland, all those, and it shows the median salary for these cities, and then the lowest amount for the season tickets. And LA United have the lowest median salary, and then the lowest season ticket prices. So basically, we are making the least and having to pay the most, especially in a case where there are already 40 some odd season ticket holders, and it comes across a little bit greedy, especially in the form that the team has been in. And as I've mentioned a lot, where the last 5 years we've been mediocre or worse. I mean, it's just a bit tone deaf. It is incredibly just saddening to actually hear this, to see this type of thing. A lot of fans are up in arms. They're voicing their displeasure on Reddit, Facebook, X, Instagram, a lot of the stalwarts, the season ticket holders, they're saying they don't want to continue. I mean, it's I think with good reason. I mean, it basically, it doesn't equate to this. You being a fan that goes to matches does not make you a better fan than someone else that doesn't go to matches. It's just maybe a little bit more enriching of an experience, as the match day experience is something different. But it's one of these things where, like, it doesn't mean that you're not supporting the team. It doesn't mean that, and frankly, it's one of these things where the value of the ticket has gone down significantly, where sometimes people can't even give away their tickets for free on match days, and you're able to get a la carte cheaper on match days than being a season ticket holder. And frankly, being a founding member is really only I would say, just kind of paper. It's just on paper. There's no real benefit that I have seen for being a founding member. There was maybe some, you get a flag here and there, but honestly, like, if you're a founding member, you should probably be getting discounts. You should probably be getting, on the season tickets, where you're paying significantly less than others. Otherwise, what's the incentive for people to stay on? Because it's cheaper on a match day to just get it willy-nilly. So, people know this. People have, have done this now, and where is the incentive? It really, truly is. I hope the, if anybody from the team is watching this, they need to make sure that they're making change, because a lot of fans are up in arms. Yes, you're gonna get possibly some of the other fans that are on the waiting list. Yeah, there's a long waiting list, and of course, if somebody drops off, well, somebody might come back on, but that's not come back on, but somebody might take that place. But those fans that have been fervent, those fans that have been rowdy and proud for all those years, they're getting disenfranchised with where the club is going. And, essentially, if you want to just eschew that and make it where, okay, well, you're going to be easily replaced anyway, that's a very corporate way of thinking about it that, frankly, disgusts me. And if that is the case, and that does happen, where they're just like, oh, well, whatever, like, there's always going to be somebody else. Like, that is truly, I think, you're taking the heart out of the club. You're taking the, where, instead of focusing the areas that need improvement, focusing on the things that you can actually change to keep those fans, and ergo also keep the atmosphere. That was essentially the lifeblood of what was going well with LA United from the beginning. Because right now at the Benz, it is essentially a dead atmosphere for most of the stadium, and in the supporter section, even in the last match, is just a prime example where so many fans that are in the supporter section are sitting down. They have no idea what the chants are. They have no inkling to learn it. They are really just there because it's the cheapest ticket there. And you essentially, you deaden the atmosphere. And I mean, basically, so many of the most hardcore fans have dropped off for that reason, because they don't see the value of their ticket anymore. And I mean, I don't know what else to tell you at that point. If you're the LA United FO, thinking that, oh yeah, well, that's okay. But Yeah. Anyway, so let's move on into MLS news, where the Athletic reported that there will not be a second contract buyout this summer as expected. The provision would have allowed more cap flexibility for teams looking to make roster additions or move on from bad deals. And, it very much seems like, there is a lack of competitiveness in some of the clubs around MLS, because this very much favors the teams that don't want to spend money. The teams that are wanting to spend money and looking to maybe eschew some of those bad contracts, because, well, it's always going to happen. You're not going to hit every single signing 100%. Well, then, you will end up sometimes with a bad contract. And, yes, it does incentivize to make better decisions, but it also is, to have only one in a very pretty restrictive MLS salary structure. It's tough. That that is, I think, kind of the whole franchise nature of MLS that definitely is quite annoying. But MLS did officially announce new roster rules, and in the spring, it was reported that teams will have 3 DP slots, and 3 U22 slots, or the choice of 2 DPs and 4 U22 spots, and up to $2 million in GAM. Now, obviously, this would have been great for LA United when we had all those players, and especially, the whole Edwin Mosquera and Eric Lopez fiasco, where we ended up with 4 U22 players. But, I don't feel like LA United are going to go that direction with just 2 DPs. I feel like it's going to be a little bit more of the tried and true, and, the 3 DPs where they definitely are, MLS ready. They are going to be able to produce at the MLS level. And, I think kind of hitting and hoping on the U22 players is going to be a little fewer and further between, as far as, players that are going to be, just outright starting 11 type of players. I think Garth Lagerwey has kind of mentioned that that type of player is not necessarily where he's going to go as far as the direction. And, I think it's probably wise at this moment anyway to probably go away from that, kind of pick somebody up from Argentina and try to sell them on, keep them here for essentially 2 years and, move them on to Europe. It doesn't really keep that, keep our fan base really satiated. Our fan base wants to love players that essentially stay here for a good while. And, when you move on a player every couple years where, basically they do well and then they move on, fans are growing very wearisome about it. But, next bit of news, a transfer rumor for Bartosz Slisz. According to Gianluca Di Marzio, he says that Udinese are interested in Slisz, and because of his previous head coach that was at Legia Warsaw. And, it does make a little bit of sense in the sense that, Slisz is a Polish national team player, and he was playing for Poland as a starter. I mean, young guy in his prime. It does make sense that an Italian side in the Serie A would be interested in him. Now, the possibility of that actually happening is possibly, not really absolutely true. According to the AJC, reported on Wednesday that it's not necessarily, something that probably will happen, as he just came in, of course, and as well, there is the possibility that, sure, next season he might be a DP as far as accounting wise, and Stian Gregerson will actually move from being a DP to a TAM player. But yeah, he also, Slisz, would be able to be bought down fairly easily. So, if Atlanta United chooses to do that, they can. So, in my opinion, Slisz should be bought down anyway. Once the opportunity is there, and probably with the Caleb Wiley GAM that we will get when eventually that move is actually announced. But yeah, so moving on from that, Fabrizio Romano, he gave an update about Aleksey Miranchuk of Atalanta. He said a new proposal has been sent to Atalanta by Atlanta United and negotiations are underway between the two clubs. A deal could be done soon. According to Tutto Atalanta, yeah, Aleksey Miranchuk didn't participate in Atalanta's last friendly, and apparently it as well. There is a 12 million euro offer that is ready to be accepted, including bonuses. And yeah, it really just is for the camp of Miranchuk to decide if he wants to come to Atlanta United or not. And so obviously it's been a saga already a little bit. It kind of always is the case, right, with players that are linked with Atlanta United or selling out from Atlanta United. But it's just par for the course. But yeah, next bit of news from Tyler Pilgrim. Carlos Bocanegra mentioned that bringing in new players isn't necessarily influenced by the coach search, and that the front office talks to the potential player about the overall club philosophy, and that the ideas stay similar even in times of uncertainty. And Boca said that they're talking to around 15 players. The 15 players bit, I think, is the most intriguing there, where, I mean, yeah, there's obviously the first choice players that they're trying to get, of course, but it seems like there's a lot of second options, third options that they are also speaking with as well. But also it's interesting because Bocanegra seems to be kind of deep in the spearheading of these negotiations and talks with new players and signings, which, I mean, if he truly is maybe on the outs, like Garth Lagerwey has kind of suggested, well, I'm not so sure now. It seems like it is where Bocanegra is given every chance to try to pretty much right the wrongs and bring in the right players. So, obviously a lot of people have quite a few gripes about Boca and his track record, and whether he should actually continue on as the technical director. But yeah, it seems like he is having some say in, and not just some say, but like a large say, and maybe kind of leading the charge on some of this. But yeah, so yeah, moving on to LA United 2, they claimed 2 points after a shootout victory against Columbus Crew 2 on Sunday night at Fifth Third Bank Stadium, and the match ended in a 2-2 draw, and Matias Gallardo and Dominique Chong-Ki found the back of the net. Goalkeeper Jaden Hibbert, he made 4 saves in regulation, and then he stopped the first 2 penalties in the shootout. So yeah, great news for Hibbert, who came back on loan from Birmingham Legion, and yeah, the Super Drafty is doing well for the Twos. The Twos also announced exercised the option to extend the contract of defender Ethan Dudley, and also forward Rodrigo Neri was also added this past week. Dudley, it seems like possibly it has been needed for sure, because Efrain Morales is definitely part of the first team a lot, and needed it in the squad or in the 11. So yeah, another player to kind of fill out the squad for the 2s was definitely needed. But guys, that is the news and gets us to the mailbag. And you guys send in these questions through IG story. Please continue to do so, and we might answer your question in the future. Also, we got your questions from Discord as well. So drop in there, and yeah, you can kind of write the longer form questions if you'd like. But first question comes from greatest Josh Cohen fan, who also just became one of our assistant referees in the Discord channel. So congratulations to Adam. But he asked, now that the window is finally open and the new roster spot rules have 3 DPs, 3 U22s, or 2 DPs, 4 U22 spots, which option will fit best for Atlanta at the moment? Just kind of talked about it a little bit, but I think the way that Lagerway is heading, it's more in the direction of where I think we want 3 senior DPs, where they're tried, battle tested, and ready to produce from the off, and not someone who's basically a project. Because we still have 3 spots of that. So with Sosa, with Ibarra coming off the books probably in the future, unless they ball out and come back from Argentina, there is a possibility of that, of course. But I think we're probably going to move on and probably try to find some more attacking talent that you can probably bring on from the U22 spots. But next question comes from Land Guy in ATL. When do we get reinforcements? Well, July 18th today. Well, the day that we are filming this. Basically the transfer window has opened, and so Pedro Amador, he officially can play now for Atlanta United, the left back that we signed. That also answers Studer 19's question. Will we... wait, no, not Studer, but KC Lenny 94. When do we know about when Pedro will be available for selection? Yeah, so he is available to play against the Columbus Crew this weekend. So, maybe he'll start, maybe he won't, but he will be available for selection. But, Studer 19's question, yes, will we not ever know pain this season? Gigi gone, Almada gone, longest home losing, etc., etc. I mean, it's basically... It's a tough season, and it really is, we've had a lot of things happen. But I am choosing to, look at it in the sense that, the pain is something that's, when you have a little bit of that pain, these are the moments that, you really build character, make you an interesting person if you can survive them. And I think would we rather not go through these type of moments? Of course, but it is still, it is what it is. It is painful as hell to watch all this right now, but I think personally I've gone through harder moments, so I'm trying to see the light at the end of the tunnel. That if we absolutely make sure that the front office, the club, makes the changes that we want them to, because at the very least, it's this: we're not going to sit by and idly watch while the grasp of Atlanta United is loosened by the people that are in charge. It essentially is where we have a say, and absolutely we need to make sure that they hear it and that they are doing so, and we can vote with our wallets, essentially. But and to answer Gabe Lobdell's question, is it fair to say we are a club in crisis? I would say absolutely. I mean, without a head coach, without 2 DPs, with people up in arms about season tickets, moves need to be made. Like, the DPs probably do need to be brought in ASAP, because yeah, it's really going to be difficult to keep those season ticket holders, on board if there aren't moves that are made very, very soon. But yeah, Kevin PG Connor asks, why do we seem to wear the away kit so much? Low sales. It's not low sales when, yeah, pretty much we've worn it very often since the beginning of the year. I mean, this happens every year. Basically, the new kit gets its day in the sun, and essentially, it's going to be worn away. It's a secondary kit. It's going to be worn at home because, yeah, you want the opportunity for the fans to also wear the kit. The more they see the kit, the more they will probably buy the kit. It's just how it goes. That's just how advertising and marketing happens. The more that essentially you see a Big Mac from McDonald's, you're probably more likely to buy a Big Mac. So, just so happens. But yeah, that's all the questions from this week, and it gets us to the match preview. And so Atlanta United will be playing at 7:30 at the Benz against the Columbus Crew, who are third in the East. They have won 9 out of their last 10 in MLS. Their last match, that was the lone one that they did not win. It was a 1-1 draw against Charlotte FC. And yeah, of course, our previous match against them was that 1-0 loss for the season opener in Columbus. And yeah, our last 6 against them, they've won 4. We've only won 1, and we've drawn 1 as well. So yeah, they kind of have our number at the moment. Obviously, Wilfried Nancy is, for my money, probably the best coach in MLS at the moment. And he's just a very astute coach, adaptable, and just has his team set up to really punish teams really left and right, from a defensive standpoint, attacking standpoint, possession standpoint. I mean, this is the trident, the attacking trident, with Cucho Hernandez, Diogo Rossi, and Matan. They're just absolutely dangerous, and they still have Darlington Nagbe as well, of course. So it's even though they might have lost Aiden Morris, but yeah, they are still a very, very difficult team to contend with, and the pundits agree. There's only one pundit that has them finishing as low as 6th, but everybody else has them pretty much finishing in the top 3 or probably first. And I think there are some wrinkles in the Eastern Conference yet to come. So yeah, it will be interesting at the top of the conference what will happen. But yeah, of course, as well, we know this. They're the MLS Cup champs, as far as the reigning ones. And yeah, they're that team that's they're very clinical. They from a defending standpoint, they are really good at protecting the lead. So yeah, if they score first, man, it's going to be difficult for sure to get back into the game. They're great in possession. They are a team that can still rotate and still do the business. And yeah, I mean, it's as far as the match facts, Columbus Crew, they've been winning at both halftime and full-time in their last 5 matches. The Crew have also scored at least 2 goals in 9 of their last 10 matches. So yeah, the Charlotte FC really did a number somehow by getting that draw against them. It's really quite incredible, actually. Dean Smith, their head coach, I mean, he's a good head coach. He's doing some business for them. For Charlotte, they're in their best run of form in their entire existence. So, but yeah, for the unavailable players, most likely for LA United, Edwin Mosquera, of course, will be out with his knee, probably still, even though he is coming back. He is training individually. Noah Cobb is out on international duty, and of course, Caleb Wiley with the Olympic national team as well for the USA. So, some very important first players that, part of the defense that have seen a lot of minutes this season are not available. But, that gets us to our predicted starting 11. So, I think it's Brad Guzan between the sticks. That part is easy probably at the moment. Whether it's going to be a 4-man back line or a 3-man back line, that probably is the question. Against a Columbus Crew that is so difficult, I would probably err on the side of probably trying to go with a 3-man back line here, going a little bit more defensive. But, Gregerson comes back from the yellow card accumulation here, and he will play probably, in my opinion. And so Gregerson, Williams, I think, there is the possibility that it might be Ronald Hernandez possibly, but I think it should be Efrain Morales in that back line instead. And so, into the wing backs then, Lennon, of course, on the right, but, the great question here, if it is going to go this route, is it going to be Hernandez or if it's going to be Amador, who is available for selection, but I question if he is match fit. So if he is, it's one of these things. I think it's probably going to be Hernandez from the off, and then Amador comes in, gets some minutes, gets some match fitness underneath his legs, and then probably starts to see more minutes as the season goes on. Because Hernandez didn't exactly play poorly against NYCFC. He was probably had one of his better matches of the season. Didn't give up a goal at the back post. Wasn't at fault for the goals directly. So, I think he probably does earn that start. But into the midfield, that's really the question too. Is do we go with 3 central midfielders and maybe 2 up top, or do we go with 2 in the middle to kind of try to combat Darlington Nagbe, who pretty much is essentially 2 players? I think we are probably going to go with the route of 2, but I hope 3, and I think it might be in this kind of vein more so. So I think it'll be Slisz, Muyamba. I question, because he hasn't really played well against Columbus in his career. It's probably more away that he hasn't really played the best. But to be fair, most of the team hasn't really played their best against Columbus, and most of the league hasn't really played their best against Columbus either. So, it is what it is. I think it's probably Slisz, Muyamba. I think it could be where we do see Dax McCarty here with his experience to try to really try to stymie the midfield and try to win that midfield battle. But it obviously doesn't leave a ton of options up top. We essentially have probably 2 players to choose, and I think that will be Saba and Daniel Rios. As the attacking duo up top, and maybe Silva does come on later in the game, but man, I don't know. We're at home too, but if this was a game to park the bus, this would be the game against Columbus Crew. It's just it's gonna be very, very tough. One of the toughest assignments this season, but the score prediction time is here, and so essentially, it's really going to be really difficult to adjudicate what's going to happen, but unfortunately, I feel like it's a 2-0 loss, unfortunately, and I'm hoping for at least a goal, but I mean, with how Columbus Crew are going, unfortunately, I think it's a loss at home again this season, and just not great. But what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. But that pretty much is the episode there and there, except for the question of the day. The question of the day is, do you agree with Garth Lagerwey that we should wait until 2025 to hire a new head coach? Let us know in those comments below. Looking forward to what you have to say. But guys, that is the episode. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. I've been AJ. That was Michael at the beginning of the episode. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you in the next video.